You're watching Press Box, presented by Roper Kia, Bob's Appliance Center, Missouri Southern State University, and Girard Medical Center.
KOAM studio. I'm Sports Director Ryan Blank alongside Ben McLeish. And Ben, it is officially playoff football in Kansas and Missouri with the first round of postseason action this week.
That's right, and while teams like Carthage, Joplin, and Lamar have a bye week, some of the top contenders in Missouri are in action this week, the Open District Championship tournaments.
And one of those teams is Webb City as the Cardinals host Parkview in our KOAM Game of the Week from Cardinals Stadium. Cardinals finishing the regular season with a 6-3 record, coming off a win over Joplin. Webb City's opening drive at the goal line, it's a handoff to Mason Williams, who bodies his way into the end zone for the game's first points. Cardinals lead 7-0. Next possession for Webb City, Gabe Johnson on the run here, but this hit jars it loose. Jace McGuire recovers it for the Vikings and takes it to the house to even this one up at 7. But the Cardinals are right back in the red zone. Braden Strickland with the quarterback keeper. He's going to stay on his feet, contorting his body somehow to get into the end zone as Webb City goes back up 14-7. Next possession for Parkview. Willie Otto's going to run some play action, but the Cardinals defense is going to make a play. 3 of them to be precise. They're there for the sack to spoil the Vikings' drive. Subsequent possession for Webb City. Strickland pitches it to Mason Williams. Who else would he go to? And Williams extends for the pylon, and he's in for his second touchdown of the day. Cardinals cruise to a 52-21 win over the Vikings.
Carl Junction facing a familiar opponent in their playoff opener, hosting Bolivar. Starting off in the first quarter, Carl Junction's Mason Gilbert throws deep. It's almost picked off, but caught by his teammate JoJo Ballard for the big gain. That leads Tristan Lopez to bully his way into the end zone to score the first touchdown of the game. Next up, a remarkable run by Marcus Lopez Derman as he gains significant yardage downfield in the Bolivar territory. On this next play, Chapel Banner for Bolivar has the ball, but he can't escape the pressure, and Kane Clark is able to get him for the sack. On the next play, Gilbert fumbles the snap but recovers. His pass, though, is picked off by Evan Mortensen, who gains a few yards before being taken down by Brian Hanks. Bulldogs with the ball again. Gilbert shuffles it to Lopez, who races into the end zone for the score. Carl Junction would go on to beat Bolivar 28-14.
The Neosho Wildcats on the road in Branson to take on the Pirates. Let's go to the second half. Wildcats already up 28-7. They add to that lead. It's Blaine Patterson connecting with Haven Plummer. The 20-yard passing TD makes it 34-7. Fourth quarter now. Wildcats back in the red zone. 3rd and 1, but the Pirates scoot them back. A swing of momentum for Branson. We might have one, but it's 4th and 3 out now. But Neosho's defiant. Patterson with the bullet to Plummer, and that'll make it 41-7 on the score. Branson marches down the field late in the game. It's Smith Quigg with the gain to put Branson just 2 yards out of the end zone. And then the handoff to Quigg, he'll punch it in. Branson goes on to score one more touchdown, but that'll be it. Neosho advances 42-20, the final. Only a trio of games in the Show Me State so far in the opening week of the playoffs, but we're just getting started here on Press Box. Coming up after the break, it's playoff action in Kansas with Lebec County, Colgan, and Frontenac all beginning their quest for a state title. But first, a look at some scores from across the region. Welcome back to Press Box. We covered a few games in Missouri as the action truly heats up there next week. But in Kansas, every playoff team hit the field this week, kicking it off with Lebec County, who's hosting their first opening round playoff game in 8 years, battling Bonner Springs. Grizzlies finishing with their best regular season record since 2017. Braves ball, Martin Garrett with the toss to Ezekiel Gray, but he would have issues with the toss. Kagan Bates with a recovery. Grizzlies would take over deep in enemy territory at the Brave 16. Nolan Nash takes the handoff from Aaron Wyrick, finds his way to the outside, dives between two defenders across the goal line. Touchdown, Grizzlies. Ensuing kickoff, Jaron Payne would fumble, then recover. He has some room though, making his way down the sideline, having no issues, but Kagan Bates would punch the ball out. Nolan Nash would be the man to recover it, but he's not done yet. He'll pick it up, open field, speeding it all the way back to the end zone. A little editing magic there as he scores his second touchdown. It's 14-0 Grizzlies early in this one. Next Lebec County possession. Wyrick dropping back. He's going to look downfield. Who else is he going to find? It's Nolan Nash wide open, and he will race into the end zone for his third score. Grizzlies up 21-0. However, Leonard Fugasha is here to make a play, and he's got the first touchdown for the Braves. 21-7 now for the Grizzlies. Second quarter, Wyrick rolling out to his right, finds Nash again. He would punch it in for another touchdown. His fourth of the game, 28-7 Labette. At that point, they would roll easy tonight at home. 56-12 the final.
Class 3A 8-seed Parsons looking for a bounce-back win, hosting the 9-seed Wellsville. Opening Wellsville drive, running back Armin Graves takes the handoff and he speeds to the outside with a strong gain into Vikings territory. Later in the drive, 4th and goal for the Eagles, and Pete Dorsey takes it himself to the outside, diving into the end zone for a touchdown to give Wellsville an early lead. Vikings looking to respond on their first possession, and you know it's Halloween when the tricks come out of the bag. Atticus Clark finds Andre Ford, who launches it downfield to Sean O'Banion for a big gain. Moving to the second quarter, Dorsey fakes the handoff, calling his own number, rushing up the middle, cruising in for his second score of the night. Parsons looking for some momentum offensively. Andrew Hauk looking for Ford on the pass, but it's intercepted by Dylan Strength, setting up the Eagle offense. Still in the first half, Peyton Otwell with the rush, getting a block on the outside as Otwell extends the Eagles' lead with a touchdown of his own. Parsons' season comes to a close, falling at home to Wellsville.
Class A East top seed Colgan battling Donovan West at Hutchfield on Thursday. Opening drive for the Panthers. First play from scrimmage, Clayton Adamson takes the handoff, and he's just toying with the defense on this one. He'll start to the outside. He'll cut up the middle. He'll reverse the field and keep weaving through, going 69 yards untouched for the touchdown. Colgan leads early. Next drive, Adamson with the carry again, and mama, there goes that man again, finding room on the outside, showcasing his speed en route to his second touchdown on only 3 touches. Panthers lead by 14. Still in the first quarter, who else would it be, folks? It's Adamson once again, and this one's even crazier than before. Breaking a tackle behind the line of scrimmage before completely reversing the field, starter stepping another defender before breaking yet another tackle as he will score for the third time. It's like he's playing Madden and spamming circle on the controller. But if you think the star senior was done there, you would be wrong. Early second quarter, Panthers go back to Adamson, and he cuts to the outside, waltzing in for another TD. He had 7 in just the first half. Panthers prey on the Mustangs, advancing with a shutout win, 63-0 the final.
Girard winners in 3 of their last 4 games, taking on Neodesha in the opening round. Opening possession for Girard, Ashton Lemon tosses it to Corbin Bowen, and he's got room to run, getting into the third level before getting stripped, and the Blue Streaks recover. Second quarter action, this one's still scoreless. Lemon looking to throw, but the pressure gets to him, and he fumbles. Girard recovers in the end zone, but the safety puts the Chargers up 2-0. On the ensuing kick, Blue Streaks' Cameron White hauls it in, and he finds room, weaving through the defense and getting inside Trojan territory before getting brought down. But Girard is not going to make it easy. Blake Braca breaks through the line and records the tackle for loss. Big play from Braca, but Neodesha would break through. Final seconds of the first half, Tate Leck rolls around and fires to the end zone and connects with Cole Ramey for the touchdown, extending their lead. Girard comes from behind, though, to take down the Blue Streaks, 35-8 the final.
The Frontenac Raiders riding a 6-game winning streak, clashing with Bishop Ward at Raider Stadium. Opening drive for the Raiders. On the third play from scrimmage, Brogan Smith tosses it to Luke Sneed, who cuts to the inside, weaving through, turning on the afterburners for a 49-yard touchdown run. Frontenac leads by 7 early. Raiders back in the red zone. Goal-to-go situation. Sneed takes a handoff. He'll bounce off a defender and find pay dirt for the second time. It's 14-0 Frontenac. Cyclones looking to respond. Quintavian Pike dropping back to throw. Tries to evade some pressure, but is brought down by Ethan Merrick for the sack. Raiders would force a turnover on downs. And the offense would take advantage. Another goal-to-go situation. This time it's Jacob Murphy right up the gut and in for the score. Raiders up 20-0 after a missed extra point. Frontenac on a long drive that started at their own 5-yard line. Smith fakes a handoff and takes it himself, racing in for a score of his own. And Frontenac would go for 2. And who else would they go to than Sneed? It's another toss to him, and he goes in untouched for the conversion. Lead grows to 28. Frontenac cruises to a dominant win at home. 55-6 the final from Raider Stadium.
It's a Week 4 rematch in Riverton as the Rams battle Cherryville. Top kickoff their season. Cherryville on offense looking to get things rolling with a handoff, trying to wheel his way across the defense, but Slate Wells is there with the hit to jar the ball loose. Rams with the ball. Tyler Wright's looking to pass, scrambling in the backfield, but Cherryville defense with some revenge getting the sack in this defensive showdown. Rams back on offense. Aiden Witherspoon takes the snap. Witherspoon keeps it, running to the outside, juking a defender, and stiff arms another man to stay on his feet, and it's open range from there. He hits the Jets, and it's a Rams touchdown. They take the lead 7-0. Riverton in the red zone. Again, Aiden Witherspoon takes the QB run, taking it down to the middle into an army of Chargers. Witherspoon, with some quick thinking, shovels it back to Noah Parker, who wills his way to the end zone. Chargers back on offense, needing to make something happen. They'll lob off the sideline, finding his man. Chargers take it a few extra yards, getting a critical first down, but Riverton will take a first-round win over the Chargers, 26-0.
Moving to 8-man playoffs, 6-2 Oswego taking on Chase County. Opening possession for the Bulldogs. 4th and short. Wyatt Griffin's going to try to get himself. Multiple Indians are there to wrap him up to force a turnover on downs. Oswego on offense. It's a handoff to Dimitri Williamson, who bursts free and takes it all the way for the touchdown. Indians lead 6-0. Bulldogs would soon knot up at 6. Owen Jackson takes things into his own hands on the quarterback keeper. He will juke a defender and has open field for the touchdown. Indians would succeed on the 2-point try. Lead grows to 14-6. Chase County brings it within 2. Looking to respond now is Oswego. Jackson dumps it off to Williamson. Williamson jukes the defender, tight ropes the sideline, going all the way inside the Bulldog 10-yard line. And a few plays later, we all know who it's going to. It's Dimitri Williamson, untouched into the end zone to put the Indians up 22-12. Oswego would continue to dominate on the ground en route to a big win over the Bulldogs, 60-26.
St. Paul back in the playoffs, facing Lebo at home. Opening kickoff, Indians' Breck Norris hauls it in before being brought down. On the opening drive, Norris with the quick throw to the outside for a short gain. Later in the drive, Norris hands it off to Devin Vogel, but he's met by a Lebo defender as the drive stalls. Ensuing Wolves possession, Jet Edwards takes off, and he has nothing but green grass ahead of him as he scores to give Lebo an early lead. Indians looking to respond. Vogel with the carry to the outside. Wolves back on offense. Aiden McFowle on the run here, refusing to go down, carrying a defender as he gets a first down for Lebo. Later in the drive, Edwards would do it again, fighting pay dirt for the second time to extend the lead to 14-0. Second quarter action, Norris on the run, connecting with Justin Gomez, who moves the sticks with this catch. Indians driving, Norris evading the pressure, slinging it on the run. Benson Ede makes the leap and grab and gets the feet down, but St. Paul falls at home to Lebo in the opening round, 50-8, the final.
8 playoff matchups in the Sunflower State with teams like Labette, Colgan, and Oswego showing out, putting the rest of the teams on notice. That's our playoff action for the show, but we still have to look at Oklahoma, whose regular season comes to a close next week. Highlights from the Sooner State coming up here on Press Box, but first, look at some scores from across the region.
Welcome back to Press Box. While Kansas and Missouri are in playoff mode, Oklahoma is in the home stretch of their regular season with only a couple of weeks left. One team looking prime and ready for the postseason is the Grove Ridge Runners, who are back at home against Oologah. 7-1 Ridge Runners, currently ranked 5th in Class 4A, have won 3 straight games. On the opening kickoff, Briggs Fink gets the ball and takes off up the sidelines, but hit by the Mustangs' Hunter Scondola fumbles. Cade Evers falls on the ball for Oologah. After the Grove defense stopped Oologah on 4th down, quarterback Nolan Hausman passes out to the flat, complete to Isaac Sheffield, who dodges a tackler and finds the sidelines. He turns on the speed and races in for a touchdown. On the ensuing kickoff, Oolaga's Uriah Hooks fields the ball in the middle of a crowd and breaks his way past the Grove defenders to find pay dirt and tie the game 7-7. But Grove says if you can do it, so can we. Grove's Gavin Wyatt takes the Oolaga kickoff. He races down the sidelines and makes a return deep into Mustangs territory. That sets up a few plays later. Wyatt takes the handoff from Houseman, runs to the sidelines, and finds the end zone untouched for another Grove touchdown in the first quarter as the Ridge Runners explode for 84 points in a big-time win at home.
The Quapaw Wildcats looking to snap a 2-game skid against Morrison on senior night. Trailing 15-0 at halftime, Quapaw started the second half. Kickoff to Morrison, Shad Dennis, who runs straight up the middle of the defenders to get the ball into Quapaw territory. Quapaw's defense would step up. It's Chris Neal and Cash Kaywood making the tackle on Kaysen Wolf for a loss on first down. Morrison quarterback Tate Stuver is going to drop back. He's got Emmett Warren, but Quapaw's Mason Myrick gets a hand on the ball and knocks it away for an incomplete pass. Following a Morrison punt, Quapaw quarterback Jace Gregory has a hard time corralling the snap, and it goes over his head, but Gregory manages to get on the ball and recover it deep in their own territory. Gregory comes back and completes a pass to the right side. He's got Myrick, who stiff arms a defender, pushed out of bounds short of the first down marker. Quapaw's defense continued to step up in the second half. Colton Epperson shedding his blocker and getting a stop on Wolf for another loss. Stuver completes a pass out to the flat here to Ty Kelly for a short gain on first down, following a Quapaw punt midway through the third quarter, but the Wildcats fall on senior night to Morrison 50-0.
Well, that's all the action from this week's football slate. It's the best time of the year with playoff football. But don't go anywhere, because when we return, Ryan and I will recap the games and look ahead to this weekend. But first, look at some scores from around the region.
"13 games up, 13 games down" here on Press Box, with plenty more football to come in the next few weeks. But let's look back at the action. Highlight some matchups this weekend as well. Ben, as always, start us off with our weekly takeaways. What stood out to you this week?
Well, the Oswego Indians are for real, dominating in the opening round against Chase County. Owen Jackson and Dimitri Williamson lead arguably the most dangerous 8-man rushing attack in the state. They are definitely one to look out for in the postseason.
I got to go with the Riverton Rams. They're a sneaky team these playoffs. Sophomore quarterback Aiden Witherspoon may be an underclassman, but he's the real deal. The Rams have their guy for another couple of years. It's going to be exciting to see him and this team develop. So don't count out Witherspoon, Riverton, and that offense. The Rams, after starting out 0-3, they've won 5 of their last 6.
Well, the Grove Ridge Runners exploding for 84 points tonight against Oolaga. Ryan Keenum has his team playing great football, improving to 8-1 on the season. The offense continues to show that they're one of the best in Oklahoma.
Now it's time for the performance of the week. Let us know who you think had the best performance of the night by heading to KOAMNewsNow.com/vote. Your first option is yet again Colton Colgan's Clayton Adamson, who looked like a puppet master out there on Thursday. 7 touchdowns in just the first half. In his last 6 quarters of play at Hutch Field, the Panther star has 18 touchdowns. We might need to just rename this award after Clayton Adamson.
Well, our second option is the Webb City rushing attack. We've talked about the Cardinals' offense a lot, but the ground game continues to lead the way with another 300-yard performance against Parkview. 3 different guys found the end zone.
And our final nominee is Labette County's Nolan Nash. He dominated the Grizzlies' opening round win over Bonner Springs. He finished the day with 4 touchdowns, 1 rushing, 2 receiving, and a fumble recovery return to cap it off.
Let's take a look ahead to next week in our KOAM Game of the Week. It's a rematch in Carthage as the Tigers return to action against Neosho. Neosho picking up a big road win over Branson to advance, but Carthage capped off the regular season with a win over the Wildcats. Expect some fireworks in this one.
The Lamar Tigers begin their quest for a 3rd straight state championship, taking on Butler. Tigers have won 3 straight games, including a major upset over undefeated Seneca last week. There's no team scarier than Lamar come playoff time.
Well, we have another rematch in Altamont in the second round as Labette County Grizzlies take on the Chanute Blue Comets. Labette beat Chanute a couple weeks ago, but these two teams share the league title. Grizzlies dominated Bonner Springs tonight, while the Blue Comets came from behind to defeat Lewisburg.
Looking ahead to this weekend, it's rivalry week in the four states area. 9th-ranked Pitt State battling Missouri Southern in the Miners Bowl. Gorillas coming off their bye week, and that has its pros and cons. Head coach Tom Anthony said the team's healthier with that extra week of rest and recovery, but the downside is that momentum could be hurt with a bye week in the middle of a 6-game winning streak. But the team has emphasized that their urgency from a tough start to the year is going to carry them throughout, and they're ready to go come Saturday.
As for the Lions, they may have a 3-5 record heading into the matchup, but don't be fooled. 4 of those losses have come in one-score games. The Lions have proved that they can compete with anyone. MSSU is led by the defense that has held opponents to under 24 points per contest in their last 4 games. The Lion defense is also forcing 2 takeaways per matchup, and limiting the Pitt State offense will be key come Saturday. Kickoff is at 2 p.m. from the Jungle in Carney Smith Stadium.
Kansas City Chiefs have won 5 of their last 6 games. And how about this? They're going to Buffalo for an AFC Championship rematch against the Bills. KC is coming off another big win on Monday night, defeating the Commanders. Patrick Mahomes, he continues to lead the NFL in touchdowns, and the offense is on fire with Rashee Rice, Travis Kelce, Xavier Worthy, and more, scoring at least 28 points in their last 5 games. Defense has allowed 7 points total in their last 2 matchups. They have a tough test against Josh Allen and James Cook, who highlight one of the top rushing attacks in the league. Kickoff, 3:25 on CBS this Sunday. That'll do it for this week's Press Box. Next week is the final week, so we'll see you next week. Same time, same place.